Yeah, ain't it crazy how fast the year has gone by, man? Flew past, didn't it? Last thing I remember, man, we getting ready for the season opener against Dallas. I'm pulling steaks off the grill, and here we are, December 31st, New Year's Eve, and we headed into the last week of the season. Man, it's been a fast season, man. A lot of ups and downs, not just for the Eagles and the Eagles fans, just for the league, man. It's been a lot. It's been a hectic year, crazy year. If you had showed me the playoff bracket last year or at the beginning of this year, I'd have told you was insane. But here we are. But a couple updates heading into week 18. Just heard that the Eagles are going to be resting most of the starters. So from what it looks like, most of the key starters are going to be resting. Some starters are going to be limited, and some are going to dress but not play. So, you can't rest 22 starters. Somebody going to have to play, but I imagine that the guys that are most important to us are going to sit. I would be completely surprised if AJ Brown suited up. Obviously, Jalen Hurts not going to suit up. It's definitely going to be a Tanner McKee game. And I think they would have played if our destiny was in our own hands. But because we play at the same time that Chicago plays Detroit, I think they just said, forget it. It really don't matter with seed. I mean, it would be nice to have the 2 seed because that guarantees that we have home games up until the championship. But, I mean, if the 2 seed end up getting knocked out, then we get home games anyway. So that's just how that goes. But the 2 seed is definitely still in play. We would have to win, and Detroit would have to beat Chicago. And I got a sneaky suspicion that even with us resting starters, it might still happen. I think we can beat the Commanders with Tanner McKee, for one. And I'm pretty sure Detroit is trying to play spoiler right now any way that they can. So I'm sure that they're going to come out and play hard. So it's still completely possible we get the 2 seed. Now, if we get the 2 seed, we'll be playing Green Bay at home, which is personally my preferred matchup. They've been a little shaky. We've already beat them this year. And after the loss of Michael Parsons, their defense has fallen off a bit. And I think them coming to Philly is just going to be too much. I think anybody coming to Philly right now, it might be too much. If we stick with the 3 seed, we'll either be playing LA or be playing San Francisco at home. So either way, we get a home game. We'll see how it goes. In order of those 3 teams, I would definitely rather play the Packers. Second would be San Francisco, just because their defense has been ass. I don't know if any of y'all watched the 49ers, but they get zero pressure on the quarterback, and I think we would make them look bad. And then obviously LA, they've been a good team all year. I know we've had their number lately, but you beat somebody 5 times, it's hard to beat them the 6th time. It's not to say that it's impossible or even that I'm scared of the Rams, but you have to, acknowledge the reality that is a good team, regardless if they playing at home or playing in Philly. That's a good team. Matthew Stafford was leading in MVP voting until last week. Now they saying Drake May has the higher odds to win, which is crazy. I think it should go to Matt Stafford. I mean, he's clearly not a one-year wonder. He's been good his whole career. He's been to a Super Bowl, and I know that the MVP is only for this year, but I just think he's the better player. Yeah, he has the better weapons too, but I think he's the better player. So we'll see how that race goes. As far as my predictions for going into the playoffs, though, a lot of people are saying like, "Oh, y'all think that the Eagles just going to get into the playoffs and then flip a switch and their offense gonna be good. I'm not saying that I believe that per se, but to say that the idea of flipping the switch is far fetched is kind of untrue because we've done it in both of our last two Super Bowl runs. 2022 during the regular season, we averaged 27 offensive points per game and had an EPA of .06. In the playoffs, it jumps up to 34.7 offensive points per game, and an EPA of .16. And then again in 2024, we averaged 26.7 offensive points per game with an EPA of 0.8. In the playoffs, it was 34.5 points per game with an EPA of 0.12. So we've done it twice already. It is completely fathomable that we could get into the playoffs and flip a switch. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm just saying, don't be surprised if it does. The data supports it. But the issue is our defense is so good, man. I think that we're basically enabling the offense to be bad. And I think that's been the kind of the story of the season. I think, well, late in the season anyway. We don't have to play aggressively. We holding teams like Detroit and Buffalo to 12 points and 13 points. Why risk turning the ball over? I do kind of understand that philosophy, but damn, we gotta at least put up. Can you give me 20? Can you give me 23? You know what I mean? 23. I don't think. I think we could hold these playoff teams to under 23 points. I think we could do that. But thinking we're going to hold the Rams to under 14, that's a bit of a stretch, you know. But, you know, speaking of the defense, since week 10, which is when Jalen Phillips started, we've given up 14.5 points per game. That's the best in the NFL. So having the best defense going in the NFL going into the playoffs gives me a little bit more confidence, you know, that we could get some shit done. Because if we average giving up 14.5 points per game in the playoffs, we're going to the Super Bowl. I 100% feel that. You know what I mean? You know, everybody's kind of gotten into a groove. Even Adoree Jackson in the last few weeks has been playing. You ain't been hearing his name. He ain't been getting cooked. He can still work on his tackling a little bit, but everybody been doing their part, bro. But on another note, as I was just talking about the Packers, I just got a notification not too long ago that Trayvon Diggs has been claimed off of waivers by the Green Bay Packers. So, nice pickup for them. I guess one Cowboy wasn't enough for him. They had to go get another one. Good for them. I mean, he's been cooked lately, so I don't know how much is going to help him. But we're going to see. But, you know, other than that, I'm just waiting for Saturday and Sunday, man. I'm rooting for the Panthers to beat the Bucks. I would like to see the Panthers get into the dance. And in the AFC, obviously, I'm rooting for the Ravens. I'd rather see the Ravens in the playoffs than the Steelers. But I mean, the Ravens just haven't been good this year. I don't know if they deserve it, honestly. The way they've been playing, they might be one and done anyway. So, but yeah, I'm interested to hear everybody's predictions. How y'all feeling about your team, about my team going into the playoffs? How you feeling about the seeding, the brackets, the matchups, all that? You know, I've heard a lot of interesting takes in the past week, so I'm kind of just I'm really just waiting for this week to be over. This week don't really mean anything to me. I'm waiting for next week. I'm waiting for this dance to start, baby. You know what I mean? And other than that, man, Happy New Year. Be safe. Don't drink too much. I'll see y'all next week.